Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyanangyana-salakaya Sakshur-militan yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurātrise Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa, Kavirāja, Gosvāmī Maharaj, and the purport from Om Vishnu Padasila Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada. And we are at Madhya-līlā, chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya travels to the holy places, verse 262. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants to the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. In every revealed scripture, there is condemnation of fruitive activities. It is advised everywhere to give up engagement in fruitive activities. For by it, no one can attain the highest goal of life, love for Godhead. Occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can fully understand their qualities and faults, and then give them up completely to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A person who does so is considered to be a first-class man. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. As long as one is not saturated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. Pure devotees reject the 5 kinds of liberation. Indeed, liberation for them is very insignificant because they see it as hellish. Pure devotees always reject the 5 kinds of liberation, which include living in the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, possessing the same opulences possessed by the Supreme Lord, having the same bodily features as the Lord, associating with the Lord, and merging into the body of the Lord. The pure devotees do not accept these benedictions without the service of the Lord. It is very difficult to give up material opulence, land, children, society, friends, riches, wife, or the blessings of the goddess of fortune, which are desired even by the great demigods. King Bharat did not desire such things, and this was quite befitting his position, because for a pure devotee, whose mind is always engaged in the service of the Lord, even liberation or merging into the existence of the Lord is insignificant. And what to speak of material opportunity? A person who is a devotee of Lord Narayan is not afraid of a hellish condition because he considers it the same as elevation to heavenly planets or liberation. The devotees of Lord Narayan are accustomed to seeing all these things on the same level. Both liberation and fruitive activity are rejected by devotees. You are trying to establish these things as life's goal and the process to attain it. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu continued speaking to the Tattvādi Acharya. Seeing that I am a mendicant in the renounced order of life, You have been playing with me in a duplicitous way. You have not actually described the process and ultimate objective. After hearing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Acharya of the Tattva Sampradaya, became very ashamed. Upon observing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's rigid faith in Vaishnavism, he was struck with wonder. The Tattvavadi Acharya replied, "What you have said is certainly factual. It is the conclusion of all the revealed scriptures of the Vaishnavas. Still, whatever Madhvacharya has ascertained to be the formula for our party, we practice as a party policy." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Both the fruitive worker and the speculative philosopher are considered non-devotees. We see both elements present in our sampradaya. In your sampradaya, The only qualification that I see in your sampradaya is that you accept the form of the Lord as truth." Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke the pride of the Tattvavadis to pieces. He then went to the holy place known as Falgu-tirtha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, went to Tritakupa, and after seeing the Vishala deity there, he went to the holy place known as Panchapsara Tirtha. After seeing Panchapsara, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gokarna. While there, he visited the temple of Lord Shiva, and then he went to Daivapayani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the crown jewel of all the sannyasis, then went to Surparaka Tirtha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited the town of Kalapura, where he saw the goddess of fortune in the temple of Ksira Bhagavati, and Langa Ganesh in another temple known as Chora Pavarti. From there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Pandarupa, where he happily saw the temple of Vithala Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted and danced in various ways as usual, and one Brahmana, seeing him in ecstatic love, was very pleased. He even invited the Lord to his home for lunch. This Brahmana offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu food with great respect and love. After finishing his lunch, the Lord received auspicious news. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received word that Sri Rangapuri, one of the disciples of Sri Madhavendra Puri, was present in that village at the home of a Brahmana. Hearing this news, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately went to see Sri Rangapuri at the Brahmana's home. Upon entering, the Lord saw him sitting there. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Brahmana, he immediately began to offer him obeisances in ecstatic love. Falling flat to the ground, the symptoms of transcendental transformation were visible, namely tears, jubilation, trembling, and perspiration. Upon seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in such an ecstatic mood, Sri Rangapuri said, "Your Holiness, please get up. Your Holiness is certainly related to Sri Madhavendra Puri, without whom there is no flavor of ecstatic love." After saying this, Sri Rangapuri lifted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and embraced him. When they both embraced, they began to cry in ecstasy. After some moments, they came to their senses and became patient. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then informed Sri Rangapuri about his relationship with Ishvara Puri. They were both inundated by the wonderful ecstasy of love, which was aroused in both of them. They finally sat down and respectfully began to converse. In this way, they discussed topics about Lord Krishna continuously for 5 to 7 days. Out of curiosity, Sri Rangapuri asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about his birthplace, and the Lord informed him that it was Navadvip. Sri Rangapuri had formerly gone to Navadvip with Sri Madhavendra Puri, and he therefore remembered the incidents that took place there. As soon as Sri Rangapuri recalled Navadvip, he also recalled accompanying Sri Madhavendra Puri to the house of Jagannath Mishra, where he took lunch. He even remembered the taste of an unprecedented curry made of banana flowers. Sri Rangapuri also remembered the wife of Jagannath Puri. She was very devoted and chaste. As for her affection, she was exactly like the mother of the universe. He also remembered how Sri Jagannath Mishra's wife, Sachimata, was expert in cooking. He recalled that she was very affectionate toward the sannyasis and fed them exactly like her own sons. Sri Rangapuri also understood that one of her deserving sons accepted the renounced order at a very young age. His name was Shankaranya. Sri Rangapuri informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in this holy place, Pandararupa, the sannyasi named Shankaranya, attained perfection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "In my previous ashram, Shankaranya was my brother and Jagannath Mishra was my father." After finishing his talks with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rangapuri started for Dwarka Dham. After Sri Rangapuri departed for Dwarka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained with the Brahmana at Pandararupa for 4 more days. He took his bath in the Bhima river and visited the temple of Vitala. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next went to the bank of Krishnavena river, where he visited many holy places and the temples of various gods. The Brahmana community there was composed of pure devotees who regularly studied a book entitled Cṛṣṇadāsa, which was composed by Bilva Mangala Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to hear the book Cṛṣṇadāsa, and with great eagerness he had it copied and took it with him. There is no comparison to Cṛṣṇadāsa within the 3 worlds. By studying this book, one is elevated to the knowledge of pure devotional service to Krishna. One who constantly reads Cṛṣṇadāsa can fully understand the beauty and melodious taste of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. The Brahma Samhita and Cṛṣṇadāsa were 2 books that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered to be the most valuable jewels. Therefore he took them with him on his return trip. Okay, we stop here for today. Jai Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Madhya-līlā, Chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya's travel to the holy places, Ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Gurudev. Then we're reading from the Sermons of the Guardian of the Ocean. By Śrīla Bhakti Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj. And we are at the chapter on Unconditional service. Did you read last night a little bit from this?
I read a bit. Well, in the beginning, I read some of the earlier chapters. But your mark is still there. Your bookmark is still there.
I don't know. Okay. Shall I start with the chapter 5? Unconditional service. There's no mark. Try to adjust yourself through sound only, the subtlemost element of this plane. Through sound, go on cultivating spiritual life, and that too must be approached with a serving attitude, otherwise it will be futile. We are recommended to approach divinity through the most subtle element of this gross world. Although it is apparently nothing to us at present, this divinity is actually everything. So accept the subtlemost thing, but if the very life is absent, our search will be futile. Learn to give yourself, learn to die, to embrace so-called death at every second. Even in this world we find the do-or-die attitude in ambitious politicians, social workers, etc. Yeah, I remember I read that yesterday. In every duty and at every step they are ready to sacrifice their lives for the cause. If one embraces that do-or-die principle of life, he is sure to progress very intensely and become a great success. Here also, when approaching the high spiritual life, you must invite death at every step. Give yourself with the most intense desire, do or die. At every point, keep your life as your guarantee. I shall succeed or I shall die. Approach the sound giving yourself with this spirit. No giving, no getting. If you desire to give with such an intensified nature, you will be transformed into a bona fide candidate for the higher world. Service means self-giving, self-dedication, and this should be our attitude to approach that plane. In that way, all the coatings of ego will vanish one by one, and the genuine self will come from within and select its own soil. This is my home. So many coverings are deviating us in different directions, taking us far, far away from our Swarup, our real noble self, a servant in the highest plane of the whole organism. The beautiful is playing, dancing in his own sweetness and affection, and we can reach him, following such a course of do or die at every moment. Through self-giving, I can acquire my fortune, and not as a master sitting in my chair, gathering information from different quarters to utilize for my selfish plans. To progress with faith, keeping the association of devotees, and dedicating one's activities to the Lord, means this: you must go forward in your life with the spirit that you are willing to give away this life. Do or die is of course not in the physical sense, but the internal sense, bhajana kriya. This is self-giving, ego-giving. If you adopt this, the undesirable things within you will disappear very easily and swiftly. Then you will find a continuous connection with such a principle in your life. That principle will always act continuously, and other fleeting mean desires won't be able to approach or touch you. Next you will find ruchi, a real taste for divinity. Otherwise, before that continuous stage, whatever taste we may think we have is only treasury and not real taste. Nista means naitaranya. When we have established in 24 hours a day continuous connection with that charming substance, a real taste will arise, and we can rely on that taste. Any taste that we may find in any other position is unreliable. 24 hours a day connection with divinity, eliminating all other charms of this world, is necessary. Then the ruchi, the conscious taste that arises in us, is a reliable guide. After that, a Shakti, natural affinity arises, and then the symptoms of bhava, the bud stage of the flower of prema, divine love, makes its appearance. This is the way of our progress, but if there is any imitation, only offenses will be created. Those offenses will be recorded in that circle of the examiners of the upper quarter, and they will give a stamp of disqualification that we are criminal and unfit. This will go against us and hamper our future progress. Thus we must be very careful not to commit offense apparat. It is better to be a newcomer with a new introduction than to have a criminal record, for that will go against us. We must be very, very careful in our quest for the highest objective of our eternal life. This caution has been especially given by our Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he attracted us to the line of exclusive devotion. Sevan Mukhe, serving attitude, was foremost. Our Guru Maharaj did not allow us to read much, even of the lower types of scriptures dealing with general sadhana or practices, not to speak of the higher books. Rather, we were expected to actually follow those practices by hearing from the proper source and practicing according whatever was instructed from there. Serving, learn to give yourself properly. There are different methods of serving: Shravana, hearing Kirtana, chanting Smarana, remembering Vandana, praying, etc. Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī has mentioned 64 kinds of devotional practices, and it has also been further mentioned that there are 1,000 types of devotional practices. But practices are not very important. The very life of the practice is all important, for this is self-dedication. Thus we should be very particular to learn that dedication is work under a Vaishnava. Try to get practical training, working under a proper agent. That will help you most to learn and practice true dedication. Guidance must come from above. It may be very rare, but it is most valuable. We must selflessly surrender to whatever directive descends from above. I won't serve my whims or the whims of man of my level, but whatever comes from the plane above, I shall obey very eagerly. This is the key, and this is service. Sevan Mukata, serving attitude, means what? One day, during the latter days of his presence in the world, our Guru Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada said to a certain sannyasi who had led a full 20 years of life in the mission, "You did not see me, you could not see who I am. Like a saminder, you have kept some householder servitors under you, and from them you periodically give a donation to me. You have become like a broker, but you should be wholesale mine, my agent. You are not doing that. You are dependent on those householders while maintaining some connection with me. This is not necessary. You are not a member of this world. You are mine alone. Whatever I say, you should do. You should not sell yourself to anything or any proposal of this world. You are to be wholesale my servant." Thus, this necessary attitude is rarely to be found. We should surrender to whatever flows from the higher plane and thereby sustain its reality. Jai, we stop here for today. Jai, Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Unconditional Service, Volume 1, Chapter 5, Ki Jai. Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Siradev Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai.
Hariyaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariyaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Śrīmati Sudhā.
Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudha. Giridhari Gopinath
Shri Caitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Guarded Hara Shri Vasaki Gaura Bhakti Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raguna. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Vara Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Sandalva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishipad Paramamsa Paravaja Kachara Vari Asatara Sacha Shishimad. Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishipad Paramamsa Paravaja Kachara Vari Asatara Tata Shishima Shri Bhakti Vaka Shida Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Pushipaya Paramamsa Parivāja Kachai. Vari Asatara Tata Shishima Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Pushipaya Shri Gaura Kṛṣṇadāsa Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Pushipaya Shri Satchidananda Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Pushipaya Shri Jagannath Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Kavirāja Ki Jai. Namaskar Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Baladev Vijabhusana Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Ki Jai. 6 Gosvāmīs of Vrindavan Ki Jai. Sabhashada Srinivasa Prabhu Ki Jai. Sabhashada Sriman Mahāprabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanashrama Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Ki Jai. Shri Lakshmi Viraha Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nisingadev Ki Jai. Bhakti Prabhara Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Ganga Janamarji Ki Jai. Tursi Mahamani Ki Jai. Tursi Purkama Ki Jai. Grantu Ashima Bhagavatam Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha Ki Jai. Akramat Raja Sri Caitanya Ki Jai. Tadiya Sakamat Ki Jai. Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Vishwa Bhyapi Tadiya Sakamat Ki Jai. Śrīdhar Mayapur Ki Jai. Śrīdhar Nabhagrit Ki Jai. Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Baladev Bhajar Jagannath Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Ki Jai. Sadashiva Gangadharaja Ki Jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All the devotees all over the world Ki Jai.